In the world of sneakers, the success of a shoe generally revolves around the hype of the shoe. And when it comes to hype, there's nothing bigger than collabs, especially in the last couple of years. This trend didn't start with Virgil and Off-White, but it probably got to be its biggest and what made Nike start looking at them more and more with Off-White. The crazy thing to me is when people don't even know the brand. It'll be Nike X blah blah blah, and to the point where you could even make something up and be like, yo, did you get the new blah blah blahs? Nah, I miss them, damn, I'm a big fan of that brand too. No, you're not. You don't know what it is. When it comes to things like Atmos, you know, they've been around, engaged in the sneaker community. A-Life, same sort of thing. I don't think I'd ever heard of Off-White until the Off-White Chicago Jordan 1. Sacai, Clot, same thing. Never heard of them until the sneakers. It's funny because Clot has had multiple collabs, but it wasn't until that Air Force One that I really took notice. Me personally. And then you get collabs that just make no sense at all, like the Space Jam Crocs. I saw Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't remember any Crocs. I don't remember any Air Force Ones either, but you know, that kind of ties in a bit better, I guess. Nike being on board and everything. Crocs makes no sense. And we're starting to see a lot more collabs with Crocs, and initially I feel like it was like ironic. Now it seems like it's crossed the point of irony, and people actually think they look good. I don't think they'll ever look good. The other issue with collabs is a brand will smash it, like the Off-White with the Jordan 1, or, you know, Sacai. I don't know. I think they all look terrible, but the whatever Sacai joint did well for them. Or the Clot with the Air Force One. Obviously, back in the day they had the Air Max 1 in the re-release, but once they get one joint that hits, they just try and pump them out. And this, what seems to be one-off collab that was special, and you're like, man, I would never expect this brand, if you knew the brand, to do something like this, and it's so outside the box, and then they just try and pump 100 different versions of it. One of the other things I hate is when brands just tend to have one idea and try and milk it to death. When the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1s came out, it was dope, it was something different. He'd done Air Force 1s prior to that had a little hype, but not as much. Then did an Air Force 1 after that I think they still sold out, but that tongue idea was fucking stupid, and most people still think that. Then he did the SB Dunk, which was incredible. That colorway is incredible. I tried my absolute hardest to get that joint, but I'm not paying $2,000 for it. Just not happening. Then it just seemed like, alright, so the backward swoosh was a thing, that worked well, let's just do that. Doesn't matter the silhouette, whatever, just put a backward swoosh on it, be done. Same with Virgil and his exposed foam, or his zip tie, or putting a hole in something and writing on it. Do something else. At this point, I'm not even sure if they're designing it, or Nike has been given the parameters of what is associated to their brand, and they just throw it all together and go, hey, what do you think about this? Let's do this. Just seems lazy. Now, don't get me wrong, there's been a couple joints that I actually like. The Chicago, the UNC, all the Jordan 1s, and the Jordan 5s I really liked. Outside of that, not so much. Like, at all. Sacai, you know, they did well with the Vapor Waffle, all that type of stuff, and then they tried to do a Blazer, they sat. Initially people picked them up and tried to resell them, and then, you know, you start seeing the, hey guys, gonna give the retail assist on these, and it's like, no, you just can't make money on them because they're shit. I love it. But then you get, you know, brands that will have a collab and it just doesn't hit. It barely hits the radar. I remember Clot had an Air Max 97, 98. It was a little bit different in the makeup, so don't kill me on that. I remember seeing it at Auburn on the back wall, which is like the lowest of the low discounts. So, and that was a collab sneaker. So sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. Sometimes the hype will take them over the line. A lot of times it won't. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. For me, when I first saw the Sakai joints, I just thought they were fucking stupid. Other people disagree. Recently though, they seem to have been overdoing it, and the new navy and grey joints, which are probably the most toned down Sakai collabs I've seen, I actually don't mind the look of them. I'm not going to try and cop them personally, but I don't mind the look of them. I'm seeing everyday people get raffle wins on them, so I feel like the market within reselling is noticing that they're doing too much. Because at the end of the day, it is a case of less is more. If Space Jam had done a run with Nike and that's it, it makes it a little bit more special. But instead they did Converse, Nike, Diamond, Crocs. EB Games had a run of stuff. JJ's had stuff. Cotton On had stuff. Like, the list goes on. I get that you want to make the most off a movie, especially in COVID times, but less is more. Less is more. I feel like Sakai definitely won't do a blazer again. I feel like Virgil will never try and do those stupid running spikes again. They're another one that, hey, I'm gonna give a retail assist for these, and yeah. What's crazy is too, those weird spiky running joints that Off-White did, I can still get for retail on the Nike website right now in both colorways. I'm gonna say like weeks, maybe even months after they dropped. That never happens. If they go on sale, that'll even be crazier. And for real, if you rock up to my house wearing those Off-White spike joints, I'm not letting you in the crib. I'm not one of those people that says shoes got to be outside and everything like that. But you're not walking on my floorboards with them spike joints. I may, however, let you air out the lawn a little bit. For real, them shits is stupid. And it's crazy that, let's say last year, the hype around collabs seemed to die a little bit, yeah? Then all of a sudden you get Travis Scott X Fragment. Then you get Sakai X Fragment. It almost seems like you need to have a double collab for it to work, to make money, for it to get enough hype. But at the end of the day, I'm sitting there thinking, Nike's taking a check, Fragment's taking a check, Travis is taking a check from one shoe. Then the same thing, you got Fragment, Sakai, Nike. You're not really making much money. Is this just an advertisement? Is this just for brand awareness? And even the Fragment Dunks was so hyped when people initially saw the images, and I myself was like, they look sick, I don't mind them. And then all of a sudden I started seeing them reselling for retail. I didn't see them sitting, I'll be fair, I didn't see them sitting, but they were definitely being resold for retail. And I feel like even now you could probably get them for like 200, which I'd say retail on a normal pair of Dunks is about 150, 160. I would say they've probably been a collab, maybe they're at 180, so 200 isn't too much. They're basically charging you for postage. The other one that we mentioned earlier was the Clot Air Max They brought it back with the see-through joints. No. It might have been special back in the day when they initially did it because it was so different, but now you've redone it. Now collabs are everywhere. Now it's flooded the market. I cannot wait till we just get back to, that's a dope shoe, I'm gonna buy it. What's wrong with that? Me personally, I don't think I own any collab sneakers. I think Colin Kaepernick ones, the Air Force ones, the Kendrick Lamar Reacts. Outside of that, and those, there was little to no hype. I just personally liked them and the story they told. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't just be insert random brand, X Nike, X Jordan, to a lesser extent Adidas, New Balance. Did I just say Adidas? It's Adidas. It's fucking Adidas. But yeah, you get my point. I feel like collabs are cool when executed correctly, but it comes down to less is more. What do you guys think? Leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hey, who knows? Maybe we get this big enough, I'll do a collab. And I promise not to overdo it. Nah, fuck that, I'm whoring myself out to everything. Sneakers aren't cheap. Peace.